So, oh, look who just happened to drop in. Hey, folks, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Yes, the evil twins are back again. I'm
Dr. Mark.
I'm Elmer, and we are
Mark and Elmer's PSI Piano Scene Investigations.
And we're here to bring back some more stuff. So if you like our program today, enjoy our video, our company, and our conversations, if you like us, please go down below the video to like, comment, and subscribe. And please don't forget to visit us on Facebook. All right, and give us some conversations or any questions or any recommendations of what you want us to talk about. If you are born today, you share the same birthday as Hans Barth. B-A-R-T-H.
The professor?
Rubenstein's
teacher?
Rubenstein's teacher was born today in 1897.
I didn't know his name was Hans.
Hans.
Huh.
H-A-N-S. Hans.
Yeah.
Born today in 1897, passed away in 1956.
No, that's not his teacher.
That's not his teacher?
No, because Rubenstein was born in 87.
87?
And Bart was an older guy. He was, a friend of Brahms and Joachim and all that.
Okay.
It's not the same guy.
Not the same guy?
No.
Okay.
Because I didn't think his name was Hans. I don't remember his first name.
All right. Well,
no, but Bart was white beard and sturdy, nasty professor. By the time Rubenstein came to him,
he said he smoked a lot of cigars.
Yeah,
during his
probably where Rubenstein picked up the habit.
Yeah, could be. Yeah. Anyways, this guy's German. He could be an illegitimate child of whoever.
Who knows?
No.
Who could probably?
No. Okay. Anyways, another birthday here is Ozan Marsh. Ozan Marsh or Ozan Marsh?
Is he Turkish?
O-Z-A-N. Marsh, M-A-R-S-H.
If he was Turkish, it's usually there's an umlaut of the it's Özan.
Okay, well, Wikipedia says he's American.
Oh.
He was born today, 1920, died in 1992.
How's he spell his last name?
M-A-R-S-H. First name, O-Z-A-N as in Nancy.
Yeah, it could be, maybe the parents came from Turkey or something like that. That's a Turkish name.
Yeah.
And it's traditionally Özan, with the O as an umlaut over it, like in German. Özan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But that doesn't mean they mispronounce it. He could have been Ozan,
Yeah.
It's like when I went to Germany, I thought my whole life, my name is spelled H-E-E-G, okay? It's a Dutch name, that's the real spelling. I am so sick and tired of all the time, Mark. Heeg. And I was thinking, finally, when I was an exchange student, I went to Germany the first time.
Yeah. I
met the house mother who kind of was, I think she did the whole house, the high-rise apartment building that we all lived in. But, there were apartments for students. And I met her. And she said, Herr Heeg, we're very pleased to have you here in Germany. And I said, no, I said, it's Hague, which I'd done all my life, correcting people. It's Hague. And she said, oh, you pronounce it correctly? Most Americans don't know how to pronounce the names. She was trying to be nice.
Yeah.
So the first German lady that pronounces my name, she says, just what I was used to. It's a pain in the butt having names that are hard to...
You think you have problems?
Well... Yeah. Mr. Sabotage.
Yes, we always tell. Well, we usually tell our people who need our names. It's cabotage. It's like sabotage except with a C.
Yeah.
But then they don't know how to spell sabotage.
Yeah.
So
but
we've heard.
What do you get?
What we get cabotage, cabotoga, cabotage. That's pretty much about it. So, but it's just like the word sabotage except with a C.
Yeah.
Cabotage. So.
That's interesting. It's what's the origin of the name? I know it's often connected with the Philippines. I looked it up one time, and it's considered kind of a Philippine name.
Well, even in the Philippines, they look at it strange.
Yeah, I figured that.
Because in the Philippines, they don't that name doesn't hardly even exist.
I wonder if it's like, who were the first ones that landed there? Was it the Portuguese?
No, Dad.
Spaniards?
Dad thinks it was the Malaysians.
Oh.
You know, he says there's some Malaysian qualities about the name.
Oh.
That's what he thinks.
Why not? It's
And he's the
possible.
first. And he's the first one to mention that. So he could very well be right.
But it's a big name in the Philippines because it goes back like your grandfather, right?
Yeah, but he wasn't.
Isn't he a great musician or something?
Yeah, he was a very good musician.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's and I guess I would have bragging rights to this. I think he was probably one of the earliest Filipino composers to have composed a mass, a full Latin mass.
Wow.
So.
And didn't he teach at the University?
He taught at the
Conservatory,
University of
something
Philippines.
Yeah.
The only existence, well, you know, they've tried looking for the score for this mass to see if they can revive it, and the only evidence of it ever existing is I have excerpts of the violin part in a notebook that's like this thick.
Huh.
So it's first violin, and so apparently he wrote it for.
Do you think they sent a copy to the Vatican?
I don't
Maybe
know.
write the library there and ask them if they got a copy.
Yeah, well, we could. We very well could. So, anyways, Ozan Marsh.
Yeah.
I tell you, that name, I've only was familiar with it only because I used to go to the library and collect, sign out one of those thick volumes of the Time Life recordings of different composers, and the volume I picked up was the Liszt volume, and it had the Faust Symphony, had piano works, of course, had some, let's see, mostly piano works. A lot of them were recordings of Van Cliburn's, but the only piano and orchestra work that was in that volume was the Hungarian Fantasy for Piano and Orchestra, and he was the soloist in that one.
Ooh.
So
the boy could play.
Yeah, he could. There's not a whole lot written about the guy. Apparently he fought in World War II. He was just a young man. And after that, I guess he incurred some injuries in it and could not perform as much as he would have liked to. So his repertoire was somewhat limited after that. But back in the day, when he was in his before the war, he was doing lots of Liszt, some Chopin. I think there was even some Rachmaninoff recordings he came out with.
When was he born?
He was born in 1920.
Yeah. So
he would have been like in his teens and his.
21 when he entered the war, maybe.
Yeah.
22, because the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor in December 1941.
Yeah.
And then we went in. Well, I think they started to get people into the army by January.
Yeah.
My Uncle Roland enlisted after that.
Yeah. So, but anyways, otherwise, I haven't heard a whole lot about Ozan Marsh. Interestingly enough, I did look him up on YouTube. He's got this 1.5 hour long, well, it's not a video, but it's all audio, of him about his philosophy on piano playing. He has, the guy has some credentials. He had some coaching with, well, here, let me see if I can find it. I don't know if I wrote it down here. Okay, no, I didn't. But apparently he had taken a few lessons with, in his teen years, he took a few lessons with Horowitz. He got some coaching from Rachmaninoff.
Jeez.
He also had some coaching from Leopold Godofsky.
So he was in the New York area.
He was in the, oh yeah. So apparently he had, quite a bit of credentials. Oh, he's even received a few lessons as a child with Emil von Sauer.
Wow.
As a kid.
Wow.
A little kid. So I didn't know he took children, but apparently he took a liking to this kid.
Well, Leschetizky didn't take kids, but he took a 10-year-old Arthur Schnabel.
Yeah, he did.
If the talent's there,
Yeah. So anyways, before moving on, the MO. Please, folks, take good care of your pianos. Okay, you've been watching our videos, you know what this is for. You know what this is for. Yeah? Both good. Let's see. Practicing is going well. Let's see. I finally got through the whole first part of the chromatic fantasy and fugue. At least got through the fantasy. So I at least got to the end of that page. It's a hard study. It's a hard study. I'm still trying to figure out. It's a lot of notes, and I'm still trying to figure out how some of that harmony functions.
It's a little odd in places.
Yeah.
But usually you kind of skating through it. You know, when you roll the chords and
Yeah.
things, it kind of goes through some things. But yeah, it's chromatic fantasy.
Yeah,
right?
chromatic fantasy.
So
So, but yeah, it's
a really good example of, I don't know if it was just Bach or the later part of the Baroque period, but those people weren't scared of some pretty wild keys.
yeah,
and
no
things.
kidding.
And when you think about it, he wrote the Well-Tempered Clavier because they finally worked out a non-mean tone kind of tuning, which you could basically more or less play in all the keys. Well-tempered clavier,
Yeah.
which is what he was proving by writing all those preludes and fugues in all the different keys. Which meant, you could even go farther afield then, because in the mean tone days you couldn't do something like a chromatic fantasy.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work.
Okay.
It would be so out of tune and so weird.
Okay.
They'd think you were drunk. Probably throw you in prison for it back in those
Yeah.
days. But yeah, I mean, when you really get into Bach, there's some amazing things, especially the later stuff, the musical offering, and what's the great last work that he wrote?
Mass and B minor.
All the different canons and different things.
Goldberg Variations.
No,
Art of the Fugue.
Art of the Fugue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I mean, I'll tell you the truth. I think he reached his zenith in musical offering.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that someone could write a line of music and then have it go backwards, turn it upside down, play it backwards, which is the contrapuntal voice of the the first voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The boy anticipated almost everything.
Yeah.
In that, is it in the first book or the second book?
Yeah.
And I think is it the B minor or B flat minor fugue?
Yeah.
It's a 12-tone introduction.
Oh.
D da D bum bum bum. It's basically a 12-tone theme. He takes them and doesn't repeat any note. He just picks them all out, and then the incredible thing is he makes a fugue out of it, but it sounds tonal, right?
Yeah.
Schoenberg never got that far with it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Sorry.
No kidding. Yeah. Yeah, I had in my earlier years I had toyed around with the Richard Carres from the musical offering.
Yeah.
The first one's got 6 voices. Six
Yeah.
voices. And the last one has 3 voices. So that one was less taxing on the brain.
I mean, of course we know. I mean, we know everything we can now.
Yeah.
But do you happen to know off the top of your head who his teacher was, or teachers?
Who?
Bach's teachers.
Bach's teachers? Oh, well, the first one was his brother.
Ah.
He studied with his brother, and I've heard stories about how his brother was a real taskmaster, and Bach took a liking to that. For some odd reason, he liked being disciplined, and he liked practicing, and he liked learning all about music, and apparently it was custom back then that members of the family would keep a notebook. Notebook of Adna Magna, right? So his brother was no different. His older brother was no different. He kept a notebook that was like this thick, and it was a bunch of pieces that he had just written down by hand.
For Bach?
Yeah, well, not for Bach, but just for his own purposes. I mean, it was almost like a journal or a diary of just musical thoughts. Copying other composers' pieces and the thing, so you could remember it to learn it or something. And Bach took a liking to that notebook, and he knew his brother didn't like it if he touched his stuff. And so in the middle of the night, while his brother was asleep, he pulled the book out of the cabinet, and by the light of the moon, he would hand copy, as many pieces as he could.
Wow.
Until his brother caught him.
Oh.
His brother caught him and took all of his stuff away, all his writing. And he says, "You'll get this when you're ready for it." And he just packed it up and hid it someplace else. So he never saw it for a few number of years till later. And so that was the story I got.
He's an impressive fellow, The one little tidbit story I remember is when he walked 200 miles up to Hamburg or Bremen or wherever it was up there to hear Dietrich Buxtehude give a big concert on the organ in the church. And it wasn't the dead of winter, but it was getting winterish. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was not good weather. And he walked 200 miles to go hear an organ recital by his predecessor, who was one of the most remarkable composers and organists for his time. Yeah. And then he spent that time in prison when he got in trouble with the contract. He violated his contract when he agreed to take the job at Leipzig with St. Thomas Kirche. Yeah. And the Count kind of put the screws to him a little bit. He let him go, but he threw him in prison for a month. Just to show who the boss was. And I don't think it was like, in chains and, busting up rocks.
And feeding him bread and water.
Apparently he composed the whole time while he was in prison.
Oh, it doesn't surprise me. Does not surprise me.
So, he's an interesting boy.
Yeah, very interesting.
I'll just mention a book in case you people are interested. There's a book that came out years ago called Gödel, Escher, Bach. I think it may have been originally written in German, but then it was translated. It's a big, huge book. Gödel was a mathematician who was really quite a genius for things. Escher, M.C. Escher, is famous for those pictures, where they're impossible in real life, but they look very believable. In terms of the stairs will come down this way, and then they go up that way and cross that way. But mathematically and in real life, they can't exist. But the pictures are like, they trick the eye and stuff like that. And then they use them in movies. We just saw a movie last night called Clash of the Titans or something like that. It's a Greek mythology kind of thing.
Clash of the Titans. Was it from back the 70s or 80s?
No, it's not that one.
Not that one.
Maybe it wasn't Clash of the Titans. Something with the Titans. But anyway, the building that they were in to rescue Zeus from Kronos was built by Hephaestus, and it was like the whole building was a clock. It's like moving parts and stones that would interweave and things, like an Escher thing. So then the last guy on the list is Bach, because he was genius. And there's always been, from ancient times, a fascination and a connection between music and mathematics. Really old example before Christ is Pythagoras. Pythagoras is the one that pretty much worked out, as we understand, we were told, if this is true or not. It could have existed long before, but he worked out an octave, a complete octave. Basically, you take a cigar box with a rubber band on it, and you pinch things off, and he did it mathematically, in order to find all the notes to make it a consonant octave. Actually, I don't think I'm betraying anything, because you can find this stuff in the books everywhere. The Fellowcraft degree, which is the second degree in the Masonic Blue Order, includes the various disciplines. You learn the wisdom from all these different things, and music and mathematics are 2 of the 7 schools of wisdom. So, and then of course everybody that knew Bach, when Beethoven is writing about how much they think Bach is such a genius, they weren't originally writing so much about J.S., they were talking about C.P.E. Bach, his son, who was a really famous composer and musician. in the, he was, I don't know, a generation older, but he was a good 20, maybe 30 years older than Beethoven.
Mm-hmm.
But in that whole Sturm und Drang period in the 1770s to 80s, Carl Philipp Emanuel Bach was highly regarded. Plus, he wrote the book on
ornamentation.
yeah,
I had
and then
that
there
one.
was a big treatise on theory or something
Yep.
he did as well,
He
right?
did.
He had a huge influence. There was a period of time when Haydn was composing a bunch of works,
Mhm.
and they're all influenced by Bach's stuff at the time. But people knew JS too eventually.
Yeah.
Mozart, Chopin knew a lot of Bach, played a lot of Bach.
Yeah.
Even Pablo Picasso, no, not Picasso, Pablo Casals was famous for when he warmed up in the mornings.
Yeah.
He didn't warm up on his jello. He went to the piano and he played preludes and fugues of Bach to get his fingers going and get his mind going, and then he'd pick up his cello and start to play.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I'm
That's
Mr.
okay.
Tangent most of the time.
So, anyways, yeah, I got to at least the chromatic fantasy and the work.
Oh,
Oh, you got a call? Are you expecting a call?
we got to take this.
We do?
Yeah, we got to take this one. Hello. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Can I put you on speakerphone? I'm gonna put you on speakerphone. Okay. Okay. Settle down now. Settle down so we can talk. I got it. Okay. So, Eager, is this you?
Hey, it's Eager, Hockey. It's here.
What you guys? Where are you guys?
Well, we're Wyoming.
What are you doing there?
Well, when we were watching Close Encounters recently, when we came back from Hollywood, and we were watching Close Encounters.
Yeah.
Well, Grobu said to me after we saw the movie, he says, I think I know those guys.
Oh, jeez.
And so how'd you get out there?
We were in this little spaceship, that thing that they got. So it just me, Tookie, and Grobu. And we came out the Devil's Tower.
Wow. So are you okay?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we were up on the top. And Grobu's friends came, and that's the reason why I called you. We wondered if it's okay if we go with them for a while.
You gonna go with Grobu's friends?
Yeah, they got a really big ship, and it looks really cool. I think it'd be kind of fun.
Did you talk to your uncle about this?
No, I thought maybe you could tell it.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez.
Oh, I don't know what Dimitri's gonna say, buddy.
Well, we kind of gotta go because they're in a hurry. They gotta go somewhere. So Grobu said us it's okay if we can come in and go.
And what do you think?
I don't know.
What did you say?
They need to be careful because the U.S. air traffic usually takes these things pretty serious. They shouldn't get caught.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know.
It's
Okay. Well, you guys, with all that ice stuff and the border patrol and everything, just keep your head down, okay?
tell them to go stealth if they can do.
Oh, you know what stealth is?
Let me ask Grobu.
I don't understand what he's saying.
He says, yeah, they got like shields and stuff there. Okay.
Okay, good.
Okay. You all right with it? Okay, well, I'll tell you what. How long are you going to be gone?
Well, they say it's like maybe a week or so.
And you'll be back for then? Because, Dimitri's going to be kind of upset.
No, he'll be okay. He likes when I have adventures and stuff.
Uh-huh. All right.
Okay.
So, okay. All right, well, and Tookie is with you too?
Yeah, Tookie's real excited. He wants to go.
And the aliens aren't going to eat him?
No, they're vegetarians.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So,
good grief, guys.
all right, well, you guys take care.
Okay, I'm coming. We'll see you in about a week or so. Maybe we'll be back on the show or something like that.
Okay,
Okay?
that's fine.
Okay. All right, well, be careful now. Have a good time.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Maybe we'll send you a postcard.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Holy jeez.
Wow.
Well, you know,
These guys, man. I mean, they actually, when they were talking about it, I guess when we were watching on the show,
yeah,
I didn't think they were really serious about it, but I know Grobu said something to her, and I don't understand him very much, but they know how to talk together, and he said, I think I recognize a couple of those guys in that movie. Like, you know,
For
I
Pete's
think
sakes.
Spielberg used real aliens in the movie.
Yeah.
You know, don't you think so? That's what he was thinking. So,
well,
and
you know, when he
I know
said
that there's some skedaddle about
Yeah.
maybe they go out and, you know, check it out. Asked me if I wanted to go. And I said, I can't go, you know. I got to earn money and pay the rent and stuff, you know. I can't do that.
Yeah.
So, I guess they went, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they were going to do it, but
well, you know,
they kind of talked about it.
I was going to say that he says they'll be gone for about a week or so.
Yeah.
That's in their time.
Yeah.
For us, that could mean
Like
either
7 years, decades.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. But when they come back, they look the same, right? Remember when those
Yeah.
Navy pilots came back and they were
Yep.
just as young as they were when
Yep.
they disappeared?
Yeah.
So, well, so who knows, people? Maybe we'll see the boys soon or not. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe
See
in
if
the
they
fall.
behave, you know.
It could be in the fall.
But see, the other thing is Grobu is very apparently, you know, he can zap your butt if you know you get out of line.
Yeah.
And man, he's got money now. He just did this film out there.
Yeah.
Took the boys out and they had a party out in Hollywood and everything.
Yeah. I'm just glad I didn't hear about him in the news.
Yeah.
With all that stuff going on over there. Amazing.
So, you never know what's going to happen in this show, right?
No, you never do.
Wow.
So that's why, you know, at the beginning of the intro, he say, hold on to your seats or fasten your seatbelts.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Put
again.
your socks on.
Yes, actually. Yeah.
So there you have it. Okay, I'll put
Yes.
something up, and if I hear from him at all when I'm doing the editing for the show, I'll put stuff up. I don't know if you guys know what Devil's Tower is, but I'll put a picture of it up.
Okay.
You know the place?
I think so. Isn't it that
It's the
place
flat
where
top
they
mountain.
Okay.
Where it's got
they
the-
showed it on Close
They-
Encounters?
Yeah, the Indians
Yeah.
believed that a bear was climbing up the mountain and he scraped his claws on the side of the mountain. But
Wow.
yeah, that's where, you know, apparently where we met and talked with them.
Wow.
Spielberg's got an inside connection with everything.
Apparently so.
I think that stuff's true.
Oh God. Whoa. Okay. I'm giving you an extra update here on the Chopin or the Rubinstein competition. So I'm sort of getting burned out on it, folks.
Yeah.
It's not.
This is why I avoid the early parts. It's like when I used to watch the, what do you call those guys? The sumo wrestlers.
Yeah.
Every other month, for the first 15 days of the month, they have sumo competitions.
Yeah.
Most people, well, I do, from like me.
Yeah.
We waited until maybe the last 5 days,
Yeah.
5 days,
Yeah.
when, you know, this is the big stuff. These are the
Oh.
ones that made the cut, and they're going to really show you some major sumo stuff. But the other things are just, well, come on. Now, I know it's interesting for people who come from the country, but these first games with the soccer,
Mm.
isn't it going to be a lot more interesting when it gets closer to the end?
Perhaps.
All right, what you got?
Okay. The last time we talked, it was about session 4. We ended with Philip Linoff, who's of Russian-German origins.
Yeah.
I guess that's who he's representing.
Right.
He did the F-sharp major sonata by Beethoven
Right.
and the F-sharp minor sonata by Schumann. He actually made it to the finals.
He did.
He did,
Good for him.
indeed.
It's kind
Indeed
of
he
a
did.
clever choice of pieces.
Yeah. And the F-sharp major and the F-sharp minor thing, you know, Carl Philipp Emanuel Bach did that sort of thing too in some works where he would pair up. One of them would
Keys.
be, he made them in parallel major and
Yeah.
minor keys. So it's not that uncommon.
My teacher Howard used to like that.
What?
Key relationship to programs.
Yeah.
You know, and one time, my first year in the Masters, I forget what I started out with, but I remember the Mozart. I played the Mozart D major. And I played the first Brahms sonata. And so you're supposed to play for 10 minutes, and you can play portions of things. But what we did with mine, I forget what the first piece was, but he had me just play a certain part, and then blend in a very clever way with the same key into the next thing, So I played some of the first movement of Mozart and the second movement, and then I went right into the B section of the Brahms first movement of the C major sonata and stuff like that.
Yeah, well,
and everything was completely, it's like you're in the key, and then all of a sudden you go from Mozart to Brahms. But it worked, and it was kind of clever.
Yeah, Horowitz was very sensitive about that.
Yeah.
When he put together a program, he says, the combination of pieces, as far as their keys go, is very important because even the Schumann arabesque could sound terrible if it placed in the wrong part.
Yeah.
With, in combination with other keys.
Well, I never realized, the Chopin preludes. Chopin was trying to do the same thing with the preludes, in a sense, as Bach did with the prelude and fugues, right?
Yeah.
There's a key order, more or less, going all the way through.
Yeah, that's been done many times. I mean, Liszt, when he was composing the Transcendental Etudes, he was following the same keys, the same route as they did. So, but anyways, actor Philip Linoff, we had a Chinese representative here, Fang Zhuye, and his program was interesting. He did the Janacek Sonata.
Wow.
Janacek Sonata.
You brought that in and showed it to us.
I did. Yeah. I did. It was it was published by Henley, but was edited by Stephen Hoff. Yeah, that was a very interesting work. That's a very good work, and I must say, with repeated hearings, it sounds better and better and better. Particularly the way this guy played it. As a matter of fact, this guy played, had a very interesting program. He followed that sonata with another work by Janacek. It's a work called In Tears. It is a piece from On an Overgrown Path, Book 1. It's not a long work. It was only about 2 or 3 minutes long, and that was it. And he followed that up with the Sonata Tragica from Forgotten Melodies, Book 2, Opus 39, number 5 by Mettner.
Oh, Mettner.
By Mettner, yeah, and that was a crowning achievement of that work. That work was, whew.
So, did he study in Eastern Europe, or where?
He must have. I mean,
that repertoire, especially the Janacek.
Yeah. I would. My guess is he either made it out of China to go to study at the Royal Conservatory. Or possibly one of the, the Russian schools or somewhere around.
Academy.
It's always, So it's always possible.
But Janacek was Czech.
Yes, he was.
Right.
Yes, he was. Let's see. Then he followed that up with another Janacek piece. Once again, from On an Overgrown Path, he did a piece called Good Night. He closed the program with a Sonata Number 5, F sharp major by Scriabin. So that was quite an interesting program. From there, I guess there was an intermission, 15-minute intermission. They brought out a couple of past winners of the Rubinstein competition. They did the Rachmaninoff Suite Number 2.
For 2 pianos.
So, for 2 pianos. So I did
a little entertainment there.
Yeah, just a little bit, and people were walking around. Shame.
Wow.
Session number 5. It opens with Leor Leafsheets. I definitely don't want to mispronounce that. It's over here.
Lifshitz, yeah.
Okay.
It's a Jewish name.
Yeah, they said he's from Israel.
Yeah.
That's what they said. So, anyways, he opens up his program with a sonata, and I didn't know it had a key, But Sonata in B minor, Opus 1 by Alan Berg.
Yeah, the Berg Sonata.
Alban Berg.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, he followed that up with the Sonata in B minor, Hoboken 16, number 32 by Haydn. And he closed up his program with the Mephisto Waltz.
Oh.
So,
What key is the Mephisto in?
it is in A major.
Oh.
A major. So, at least most of it is.
Hmm.
It starts off in A major and then breaks off into...
So, do they have so much time allotted for? Is that? What
Oh,
they
yeah.
do? But this Chinese guy had a lot of pieces, but they must have not been so long,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
He
yeah.
had like 5 different pieces.
Oh, yeah, he did. I mean, it's...
But then that German-Russian dude had only the Beethoven and the Schumann.
Yeah, but
The
there was
Schumann
even...
sonatas are long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, anyways, apparently he was much more in tune with the Mephisto Waltz.
Uh-huh.
The Alban Berg... I don't know. It just seemed a little... Okay, I'm just going to say it. It just seemed a little too pedantic for my taste.
Huh.
Okay, I mean, it still has gestures. You
Yeah.
still take your time here and build up to a climax for the phrase here. It still has curves.
Yeah.
And this, it just seemed a little overly analyzed.
Huh.
Okay, even the Haydn. I mean, even the Haydn. It's a fun piece, particularly that last movement. And I'm sorry, it just didn't look like he was having any fun with it. It just didn't seem like it. And he did. And like I said, he was definitely much more in tune with the list at the end. So, anyways, that's as far as I got. The finalists: Stanislav Korchagin or whatever. He's from Russia, and apparently his name was the first one called up. And he was all excited. He was like, gave it a fist pump and as he got up there, and he was all excited. People were, the hall was mostly pianists, who were competing in the thing. And so they all clapped. Philip Linoff.
Really?
Yeah, F sharp major, F sharp minor, Beethoven, Brahms. Dmitri Yudin. I'm going to guess Russia as well. Yoladislav Kondohi. Do not know that name. It looks Slavic. Kondohi. Roman Fedierko. Sounds
Georgian.
Georgian.
Maybe.
And Jin Hyun Park. Definitely Korean.
Yeah.
So
those Czech pianist that you liked so much.
Yeah.
He didn't make it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the Billy fella.
Billy guy.
Yeah, he didn't make it.
Oh.
Yeah, I was sort of sad about that.
I looked him up, and I think I included his picture.
You did include his picture.
When you talk about it.
You did.
Turns out he's been in the circuit. He's been doing competitions.
Yeah.
So I've never think. Maybe a connection there with Manhattan School or something. I thought
Yeah.
I saw. I don't know if it was a competition or if he was studying there or something.
Yeah. Well, he was my favorite. I was thinking he was going to move on because he was so different, and
I think it's
it was
possible in some cases.
Yeah.
Rubinstein never won a competition.
No, he didn't.
He famously was beat out by Bachhaus.
Yeah.
Right? And what's his name?
But however, he was given a special. He was privately given a special first prize from one of the judges.
Right.
He was. So.
And what's his name? Who did not win the Chopin competition?
Ivo Pogorelich?
Yeah, Pogorelich. He never won. But my God, the boy had quite a career.
Yeah.
So it's just enough occasionally if you really got the goods.
Yeah.
And competitions with this is one of the reasons why I don't like them. It's almost like, well, especially with competitions like this, you're comparing strawberries, apples, and oranges.
Yeah.
In terms of these people's mentality, their way they play, and the repertoire choices are way wild.
Yeah.
Because the ones that I used to play most of the time was like play, either Bach or Handel this,
Mhm.
and then you got to play one of these Chopin etudes, and then you got to play from this selection of Chopin pieces or
Mhm.
list,
Yeah.
and things like that, so that you were really kind of hemmed in by. There was what, an ideal pianist in that mixture of repertoire that they were looking for, right? There's kind of a certain image of kind of what they were looking for. This is just, wow.
Yeah, I know.
This is incredibly open, and I wonder if Rubinstein had any influence on setting it up like that, because it's remarkable. I've never heard of a competition where, my God, did they play Barrio and
Barrio, and they did Frederick Goulda.
Yeah, Frederick Goulda and
Frederick
Boulez.
Boulez. And there's more. I mean, in the next session.
Whoever heard of Janacek in a not that he doesn't deserve it, but in a competition.
The competition. Yeah. Leo Smith. We got a piano suite by Leo Smith.
Yeah. I'm really impressed. You know.
In the next session, Elvin Schulhoff.
Yeah,
That's another
Elvin
one
Schulhoff.
Robert Billy played that one. In the next session, somebody's playing some works by Roger Sessions.
Oh my God!
I know. Studies. I think it's called Studies by Roger Session.
There's some composers.
So
I'm sorry. I'm there's going to be people that always. Everybody has their banner boy that they go for, but Mr. Sessions. Let's put it. His stuff never really spoke to me. You know his music?
Yes, I know some of it.
It's so dense.
It's dense
and
it's very
very heady stuff.
Very highbrow.
Yeah. And there was a few people that we were exposed to.
But if you listen carefully enough, he does have some blues influences in some of it.
Yeah.
If you can just sit there and listen really carefully, there's moments where he does throw in some blues notes in it.
Yeah, but if that were really the case,
but
I'd rather listen to Charlie Parker. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There are some people of the serialists, the atonalist people.
Yeah.
I know. There's some people. And I get.
It's a lot of math.
Schoenberg just never was one of my really favorite people.
No.
And I get it, and it was drilled into us how important it was what he did, And I do like some of his earlier work.
Yeah.
But, and I would say I like his orchestral stuff, the Girl Leader, for example.
The Girl Leader.
I'm not a real fan of his piano music. Glenn Gould was a note for it, and I know I'm thinking of a Oriental pianist woman who was really a great proponent of Schoenberg's music.
Oh.
But for me, and Webern was interesting to me. If only
Uchida played a lot of Schoenberg.
Michiko Uchida, that's what it was.
Yeah.
God love her,
Yeah.
Schoenberg and Mozart, go figure. But for me, it was always Alban Berg. The guy, the violin concerto, and the operas and stuff.
Yeah.
He still managed to keep.
Yeah, he's much more
human
palatable.
Passion and heart and everything in the music that it worked. But on the other hand, I kind of really love Charles Ives, because sometimes this stuff is just so in your face, you just gotta laugh, But it's brilliant what the guy did, And he came up with the same stuff that Schoenberg did about 35 years before Schoenberg, So, but sometimes they just don't always speak, and it's like even God, who am I? I'm just me, right?
Yeah.
If I were able to play all the Beethoven sonatas and record them all, I don't think I would do it anyway.
Yeah.
Because some of them I just don't like them.
Yeah.
There's a few of them I just really don't care for.
Like
F sharp.
You don't care for the F sharp?
And the Opus 90, is that the E minor?
E minor one. Yeah.
Oof.
You don't like the E minor? Dun, 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 dun. No?
No. There's some here and there, you know, just like the C minor from the Opus. What is that group?
C minor. Opus 31?
No, way earlier than that. There's,
Okay.
5, 6, and 7. Opus 10, right?
Opus 10, yeah.
Actually, I can do without 5 and 6. C minor,
The
and
bum,
F
bum,
major.
ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. That one? C minor?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I like the number 7, the Opus 10, number
Okay.
3.
Yeah.
Ba-ya-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-bum.
Yeah.
But the two previous ones, the C minor and the F major, is just like,
F major? You don't like the F major, Woody?
no, number 6, no, not really. On the other hand, I love number 4, the E flat.
Okay.
And Brendel's performance with it, I love that one.
Okay.
And I love all the first 3, actually, for different reasons. I think they're interesting. Joseph Hoffman's performance of the third.
Yeah, the C
It's-
major
it's
one is
amazing.
astounding.
The first
It's
one is a little bit
astounding.
of a student-y kind of sonata, but
Yeah, but still.
it's an effective piece, you
Yeah,
know.
of course.
It's more Beethoven than anything Haydn
Yeah.
ever wrote.
Yeah.
And I think he was taking lessons with Haydn when he wrote it.
Oh,
didn't
yeah, he was. He was at his
So-
best in the slow movement
Yeah.
and the minuet, I
Yeah.
think. And the first one is mostly a study on sonata form, really.
And I appreciate the Hammerklavier in the hands of certain pianists that can really
Ooh.
bring it across.
Yeah.
I've never tried to play it because I don't think I could convey it, honestly. I like the last ones, pretty much. Opus 1, 101,
Yeah.
110, 109,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
111. So, and then sometimes I think Schubert doesn't always make it. There's some greater and lesser achievements,
Yeah.
you know. I mean, the reason you don't hear some of his piano sonatas,
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
because when you stand them up next to the really great ones, they're just, you know, they're all right, you know.
Did you ever see that interview Mitsuko Uchida gave with this, I guess it was a German interviewer, and they had English captions, subtitles on it. And they were talking about Arnold Schoenberg. And, you know, she says, and she was just giving her overall view of what she thought of his work, you know, and she mentions the word lyrical, words being lyrical. And the interview was like, lyrical? He says, it's all math. It's lyrical. He says, really? He says, yes, lyrical. She says, yeah.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah. And then she started singing the themes. He says, you're going to tell me that? And she'd be like, you're going to tell me that's not lyrical?
Well, that's what I mean, you know. People, you know, they get various things light their fire, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I would say, you know, coming from Mitsuko Uchida,
Yeah.
she plays, you know, she's a great artist.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know.
of course.
I've never been hugely drawn to her, like her Mozart playing stuff. I'd rather hear some
Yeah.
other folks do it.
Yeah.
But she has her way of doing it, which is it's lovely, you know,
Yeah.
the concept and the way she does things. And if she finds lyricism, I mean, I've known some really great mathematicians,
Yeah.
especially in Madison, Wisconsin.
Okay.
One of my German tutors for a period of time, Wolfgang Vaso,
Uh-huh.
he was a theoretical mathematician who served on the faculty of Wisconsin. And there was a French family there. Both the husband and wife were from the Sorbonne in Paris, you know. And Madison had a history of having some extraordinary mathematicians. I mean, big-time people. And I remember Wolfgang would talk rhapsodically sometimes about certain things. He was even in his old guy, you know, he was still working on calculations and some problems, dealing with some math problems. So what do you do in the afternoon? Well, you know, I make myself some coffee and I sit out on the deck over the lake and consider, you know, so-and-so's problem, you know, try to figure it out, you know. And I came to see a certain I think it's wonderful. Actually, I think that mathematicians are like what your dad, as a musician,
Yeah.
who sees, I think, a relatively mathematical composer in a certain
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
like Schoenberg. And I think that's where I don't get his music. It's like there's too much mind and not enough heart.
Yeah.
Okay? I said it, it doesn't mean that I know
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's my opinion.
Exactly.
But I kind of understand from the point of view of geometry and trigonometry, solving those problems
Yeah.
when we use the
Playing with numbers
theorems and
and
stuff to explain them and conceive them. And I remember sometimes I had these like out of body experiences in Mr. Davis's class when he was trying to get us to see the idea three-dimensionally in our head,
Yeah.
and then work it out on paper of how you explain it like that. I think this is what Einstein did, things like that. It's I get it. I'll shut up. But I get it. I get the idea of there's architecture and then when you think about that, Rachmaninoff always used architecture as a way of defining how you control a movement or a series of movements in a piece. Where he always talked about the point. He's famous for
Exactly the point.
The point.
Yeah.
And it isn't necessarily in the middle, but it's where you find that that's the most important moment in that piece. That's what you're going to, and that's where you come down from. And he was always referring to music from an architectural point of
Yeah, he
view.
was.
So that's I'm Rapstead, but
That's okay.
I think that's when I talked about the fellowcraft degree. That was my favorite of the three primary degrees because look, this is I love knowledge. I love the marriage of art and knowledge and heart and the mind and all that. And I don't know. I've probably been looking for.
It's kind of Faustian, isn't it?
Looking for a solution. You know what it is? You know what I am? I think I know. When you said what defines you last show is the piano playing.
Yeah.
I'm an alchemist. You know what I'm
Alchemist,
talking about?
Yeah.
I'll show you a book that I got, by the way. But I am like you said Faustian. It's like
Faust.
one of those guys who's instinctively and spiritually been on a quest since I was a boy to understand the connection with the divine. That's what it's all about for me. And our power that we get from being connected with that. Not power over others, but engaging in internal power.
Yeah.
And trying to really see and understand as much as one can about the magic and the mystery of all of creation in the universe in this realm at this time that we live, in the limited amount of time that we have to try to understand it. A few decades, and then we're gone.
Yeah.
And I've always been fascinated with the stories of the alchemists, what it was. There's a lot of made-up crap, about him turning something into gold and all that. The gold that they were talking about was not like metallic money gold. They were talking about priceless knowledge and wisdom and connecting with the divine. In their way, they were practicing not religion so much as a way that a mass of people worship God, but in a direct relationship with the divine, I think. That's the way I see it. My opinion. Yeah, my opinion. So, boy, this is big time tangent day, isn't it?
Oh,
Elmer?
yeah. Big time.
Sorry.
Very big. That's okay. So, given that the time we've been given,
okay.
We're going to go to one of our favorite segments.
Uh-oh.
We come back to time and time again. Ladies and gentlemen, if you know us, you know what it is. Welcome to PSI's High Plains Thrifter. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to PSI's High Plains Thrifter, where we bring you whatever we've found either beneath the barrel or above the barrel or in the surrounding areas. It could be books, recordings, sheet music, almost anything. And Professor Marc has
Will I get to go?
Yes, you may.
Well,
since you had me, I've been bringing a lot of stuff over for the last couple of times.
That huge old book from that guy.
Oh,
they brought
the book. Oh yeah, the Manual of Music.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing.
Yeah, that one is, like I said, it's sitting in a glass case right now.
Wow.
So
what else is in that glass case?
The glass case?
Yeah.
Just the book. I mean, it's only.
You don't have anything else in there?
It takes up the whole. Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty much. It's just one thing. It's all.
So you had to take the Bible out and put that in instead, huh?
No, I mean the Bible has a. Well, Kathy doesn't let it out of her sight.
Oh, there you go.
So Kathy's the family Bible has a guardian, and goes by the name of Kathy. Okay, so.
Okay, well, you guys know he goes out and around and scouting around.
Yeah.
I don't do that so much. I've become more. I love those guys in what is it? The Lord of the Rings, the wizards who live. The wizards who live in the
towers,
forest and the towers and stuff. Yeah. Not so much Saruman, but I like that dude that lives in the forest, the brown one that rides the sled with the animals pulling it.
Okay, I don't know that one.
Anyway, or Gandalf, he was cool too. But I was also always loved. So I suppose the first time I was exposed was Merlin, right?
Yeah,
the stories about Merlin and stuff. I just love the idea of guys being a guy alone with nature in his home, surrounded by books and papers and things that he studies in order to know and discover stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole wizard, alchemist kind of thing. I love that. And I think, I only came to that idea just recently. Because partially my student said that about me. He said, "You're a real Renaissance man, aren't you?" I said, "Yeah." If you ever were to see my collection, all the stuff that I have, it's I remember a wonderful poem, not that I can recite the whole thing. There was a guy named William Carlos Williams who was 20th century poet.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I love the concept. It was a poem that Calvin Vance, who was my French and humanities teacher, shared in humanities class. It was called Humanities. We studied basically art appreciation, music appreciation, literary criticism and appreciation, and some philosophy and this and that in his class. He did have it kind of segmented out throughout the year, over 2 semesters, what he taught. But I remember one poem that I always loved so much because of what it's speaking to. It was a poem about a guy who's a married man with a family, and he's upstairs in the bedroom in a kind of an old-fashioned full mirror.
Yeah.
And he took off all his clothes, and he's standing in the mirror looking at himself. And he just starts to dance a little bit, just himself and his image in the mirror and everything. And what it's speaking, it's a lovely poem. I have to look it up to find what it's called. But the concept was, who's to say in this moment I'm not the master of my married life? That it's just me and myself, engaging in this personal moment that's just a celebration of me. Can you imagine a guy who's got all the responsibility and all the ropes around him about being a dad and a provider and a husband and owns the house, got to pay the mortgage and get him to go to work and all that. And for this time, he's up in the bedroom with the door shut, naked in front of his mirror, dancing a little bit in the bedroom by himself, just being him.
Sounds like a scene from Risky Business.
Not quite like that, but yeah. But but he's not alone, because we're never separated from the divine. The divine is in us, and part of us, we're part of that. And I think there's just, for me, there's always been this fascination with connecting and finding. So, in that regard, I can stay home, and I usually get my resources from either Amazon, which can come from Amazon, or it comes from other sellers through it, or I love thrift books. There's a lot of different ones. There's Abe's and the one out in Oregon, I forget what it's called, but Powell, that's books, I think. But I've really discovered, I don't know how it was, but thrift books, and that comes out of Texas. And they're really a wonderful service. They got a lot of stuff. And they have good ways of, like, if you buy stuff, of, like, casting things your direction, because you might be interested in this or that. And they're often right. So, I just want to share some things that shows my alchemical nature. But this is a book which I'm interested in. I haven't been able to read much of this stuff yet, because it's just been coming in recently. It's a little book on Mozart that I found, and I decided to get it because the author is Peter Gay. And Peter Gay is somebody that I know. I think it was just a sentimental thing when I saw it was written by him. I took a class which was co-taught by German professor and a history professor, Peter Selms and Kurt Fickert. I don't remember their names. Fickert was the German professor and Selms was the history professor. And it was a class on the Weimar Republic, which is that period between the First World War and when the Nazis took over and took everybody in the Second World War. It was a really interesting period of extreme democratization and things. But Peter Gay wrote a book, and I still have it. It's called Freud, Jews, and Other Germans. And that was one of the textbooks that we read. And subsequently, I found some other stuff of his and purchased it because I liked his writing so much. But I found that little book about Mozart, and I bought that.
Winner of the National Book Award.
Yeah.
And it's just called Mozart.
I don't know if he was connected with Yale University, but they published his stuff. So I have some things of his, and then it all seems to be Yale University Press or something like that.
Wow.
Where I got them.
Yeah. Yale University. A Lipper/Penguin book.
That's the paperback part of it,
Yeah.
I think.
Dedicated to Leon Plantinga in
Plantinga.
friendship.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Yeah.
I got it.
He was a composer, I think.
Plantinga?
Or
Wow.
a musicologist. Yeah.
Yeah. In friendship and gratitude. Wow. Copyrighted it himself. 1999.
This is a
Nice.
relatively late work in his output. I have no idea what it's about. Really, I just bought it because it was Mozart for one, and I got a buttload of books about Mozart.
Look at this. Each chapter has a title in this. Chapter 1, The Prodigy. 2, The Son. 3, The Servant. 4, The Freelance. Number 5, I can relate with this. The Beggar. 6, The Master. 7, The Dramatist. 8, The Classic. And that's the last chapter. Only 8 chapters.
I can pretty much understand where he's going with each chapter.
Yeah.
It's very well thought out, but it kind of summarizes Mozart's brief life.
Yeah. My.
So then, on a very different note, but you guys know that I collect cookbooks, and I found this one.
Oh no!
So at some point, maybe we're gonna make something out of there.
Oh yeah.
It's a little worse for wear, but
Okay.
it's pretty cool. And this was published well after the show.
Oh, I'm sure.
I think it's from the 80s or something.
Look at this. You know, I'll have to look all over my the archives because I'm not sure, but I think I have Edith Bunker's cookbook
Really?
someplace. Yeah, I do.
Well, Laura was looking at this one and she was kind of
Yeah.
intrigued. She said there's good stuff in there.
Yeah.
And they have some interesting recipes, like one was for owl something.
Owl.
Owl. It said, but you could use chicken, of course.
Okay, well, good.
But, you know, it's kind of, the cookbook's a little bit of a joke on, you know, people from like Mayberry and what they would have had access to.
Oh,
to eat
my.
and stuff. I remember, I don't own the book, but I remember seeing one time the Hillbilly, oh no, the Hillbilly Roadkill Cookbook.
Okay.
And all the recipes were from animals you could see squashed out on the roads you could bring home
Jeez.
and cook in the kitchen. Roadkill Cookbook.
Oh, you know, with all these celebrities, I wonder if there's one for like the Granny from Beverly Hillbillies.
Well, I have another celebrity one. I have Raymond's mom.
Yeah, Marie.
Marie. But it's really her cookbook.
It really is her.
It's her stuff, yeah.
Wow.
There's some good things in there. I don't know. I don't think we made anything out of that yet for you. But I also have, well, you know, I have the Vincent Price ones that he put together.
Yeah.
I have a few ones that are connected with famous people. I was thinking, I don't think I bought it, I don't think. But there's some interesting cookbooks that came out of The Sopranos.
The
The
Sopranos.
series. Yeah.
Wow.
Remember Uncle, what was his name? Uncle something. The guy that had the nice baritone singing voice and was bald and he drove Tony crazy for a while before Tony became the boss.
I don't know.
His
this.
uncle was the boss for a short period of time. He was a bit deceitful. I forget his name, but they put together a cookbook with his character. But I saw some of the recipes, and they're really legit. They're really good.
Hmm.
And there's that Vincent, what's his name, Schiavelli or whatever it was. You know, kind of the guy with the weird face, sometimes played aliens or bad dudes or stuff like
You
that.
have to post these pictures.
Schiavelli or
I
something. What's
don't
his
know
name?
these people.
But I did buy one of his books.
Hmm.
It was about him actually growing up in Brooklyn, and it's all about Italian Brooklyn recipes and stuff, but in honor of his father and his aunt and his grandmother and people that did stuff like that. But yeah, so that's that. And then I got another book by two books by Peter Gay.
Okay.
Two more. I guess I was on a Peter Gay thing. I don't own these books. I didn't before. I do now. I bought for years ago I had 25June2026 and Other Germans.
Yeah.
But this is a really important one. That's his biography.
Oh, Sigmund Freud.
Sigmund Freud. He was a big dude for Freud. And you might as well show them both at the same time.
Okay,
This
they're
is a
both Freud?
collection
Oh, they're
of
both
Freud's
Freud.
writings. And they're edited by Peter Gay.
Wow. Oh, here they
So,
are. They
you
are
know,
big.
We've talked about this before, you know. Elmer and I have lots of wide-ranging interests, and
Biography.
it's part of what informs us and makes us who we are as musicians.
Freud's writings.
Now, I only have this one to show you, but this guy as a writer is really cool. Joseph Roth. He was German, but very much, I think, a product of Weimar thinking.
Mm-hmm.
He was a journalist. And I bought one book of his, which was highly recommended through People and Thrift. It's over there. I didn't buy it to get it, but he pretty much paints a picture of Weimar Berlin and what the whole culture, the personalities, various things going on, what it was like. And people said he had a way of, it's kind of like he would write articles for the newspapers, but they were like travel documentaries or travel journals that would really try to paint a picture of what it was all like. The people, conversations, ideas, the politics, all kinds of aspects of the culture. And historically, he's regarded as brilliant for having captured that period. Then the last almost decade of his life, he went to Paris and did the same thing.
Wow.
So this is before the Second World War. This is that period before the Nazis get all together and bring hell to the world. But he died prematurely. He died in Paris, I think it was. He didn't live forever. He was a bit of a Mozartian comet, roaring through the sky and disappearing a little. Well, I guess the appropriate time for his coming and going. But I'm looking forward to reading it because I love stuff like that. And they especially say that he's such a fine... he really captures the essence of the people and places and things he's with, that you really feel like you're there. Probably like, the person he makes me think of, Anthony Bourdain and his
Anthony Bourdain?
travel documentaries.
Yeah.
Because with his focus is on food, right?
Yeah.
But then it obviously, in those shows that it became way more than food.
Oh, yeah, it
There's
did.
great depth and passion and philosophy and the things he discovers and talks about.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling that this is earlier 20th century before the media was really there to do stuff like that. And you had to use more of your minds and books to get to it.
Yeah.
Okay? This last part, I'm almost done here, is the alchemical stuff.
The alchemical
stuff. And this is a good one to start with because, famous people sometimes it's not always great to be super famous. Because if you become super famous, people want to claim you. They want to contain you in certain ways that defines something, and people have an interest in using you as a famous person to prove or define certain things that they believe in or that they think is important, right?
Exploitation.
Yeah. Yes.
It's
Well, and I think, what do you know about Isaac Newton?
Just what I remember watching off of little children's cartoons.
He discovered gravity because of the apple.
Right? The apple.
That's one of those stories that most likely isn't true.
True. No, it's
just like when George Washington chopped down the cherry
tree.
all that
Yeah.
crap, right?
Yeah.
But this is interesting because Isaac Newton. I have another book about him. He was. The book is actually about him as the Grand Magus of a secret society, which may have been either Rosicrucian or something that preceded what is considered now more modern Masonry.
Yeah.
But that he was the leader of some kind of a movement like that. He was this, and I read something. I've read a little bit in here so far, but I read more about what was written in this book about him. He was like one of these singular people in time. Brilliant. And because of it, he ended up having access to whatever was new and curious and unknown and things like that. And he was really pretty much one of those alchemical wizards. Spending all this time in his study, his library, and working with things. And, these people were, one might say, because the fields, various fields in mathematics and in chemistry and everything, had not really grown deep enough to be a specialist in just one thing. So they tended to be generalists, but these guys knew pretty much everything there was known to be in any of these different fields. And they also then linked them together because they thought they had components that were shared. But this is a book written by a guy, and it's very highly rated, Michael White. It's called The Last Sorcerer. And it's looking at his notebooks and writings and things that he left behind. It's a biography, but it's taking him outside the bounds of this perfect scientific mathematical kind of world into something that he very passionately believed in and looked at that goes much farther afield, one would say, into the realm of spirituality and magic and things like that. So I got that. And then I found this author. I bought a few of his books when I found out about him. This guy's, I forget, is he Czech or he's Central or I forget at the moment what country he came from. His name's Stefan Herler. I think he was Bohemian, so Czech or something like that. He ended up working at Manly P. Hall's great library in Los Angeles, and he's a professor down there and stuff. And he wrote a lot about Gnosticism, which is an old form of Christianity before the Council of Nicaea kind of decided, what was what, and they kind of a little bit more went more mainstream with things. There's a ton of different ideas going on in that period in the world, and he's explored Gnosticism, and he wrote this one particular book. I have a few that I bought, but I just show that as an example, if only because of the author, Stefan Herler. From what little I've looked at and read so far, I'm looking forward to this because I think the guy has unusually compassionate and keen insight into his information that he's looking at. Then I have one more book, and this is a fellow I've come to admire. I have another couple of his books, and then there's a wonderful YouTube video. There's more than one, but this one is one that he did shortly before he died. He's quite an older fellow. He's a Scottish guy, Tim Wallace Murphy. And he often collaborated with his wife. The extraordinarily well-researched histories. He's focusing on the Knights Templar.
Yeah.
And that's a delivery, Laura. I better go. Hold that just for a minute. I don't know if she's still here. I'll go take care of that. I'll finish this up just a second.
Okay.
I gotta go ring him in. Well, she's got it. Thanks, honey. But I'd encourage you, if you look him up, Tim Wallace Murphy, to look at the last video that he did, and he's talking about, of course now, I can't think of, Rosslyn Chapel in Scotland, which is a famous church up there, which has all kinds of it was a Knights Templar church, and they believe it was built when the Knights Templar were forced out of Europe by the mass persecution by the Pope and the King of France. And it's famous because it has all kinds of images inscribed in the stones in the church, some of which historically would have been impossible because when the church was built, there are images of corn. And corn came from the Americas, and nobody apparently knew about it, or shouldn't have known about it, until Christopher Columbus supposedly discovered America in the 15th century. But what he's getting at, and it's very interesting, because he also talks about, there's all kinds of stuff about this. He's interested in the ancient history that we have not been allowed to know for various reasons, or was lost or purposely lost. For example, one of the things he talks about is this famous island in the Hudson River Valley, which we know, in fact, that there has been consistent mining. There's a very deep island. It goes way, way down within the river. The ground itself is very, very deep. It's a huge, and it's not like a little tiny island with a few palm trees on it. It's a big patch of land in the river up there. And there's been mining on it for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And what's interesting is that they have found old swords in, where would it be now? Pretty much modern Lebanon. but from the time of the Phrygians, for example, apparently you can metallically, if you can chemically detect the origins for the metal used in anything that made from metal to the actual site on the planet where it's from.
Mm-hmm.
The metallurgically that they're able to do that. If you go down to a microscopic level kind of thing, you can see the chemical components of it. And interestingly, copper is not copper. Copper comes from Bisbee in Arizona, or copper comes from this island up there in the St. Thomas Seaway, and so forth. So that the curious thing is, some of the ancient weapons that they found when they pulled them out archaeologically from that part of the Western Middle East, metallurgically, that metal came from that island in the St. Lawrence Seaway. And you're talking about 4,000 years before Christ, 3,000 years before Christ,
Mm-hmm.
which means somebody went there and got it and
Yeah.
brought it back. And there's a lot more thinking now, no offense against the Italians. You guys got plenty to be happy and proud of. But there's a lot of stuff about Christopher Columbus as well. He wasn't going to discover anything. He was going to back to places that they already knew about over here.
Mm-hmm.
Because now, I mean, everybody's pretty much convinced that the Vikings were up in Canada and maybe Maine and
Yeah.
parts of the New England.
There's some societies even earlier than that.
Of course, but at least in that time it was like between 900 and 1100
Yeah.
AD, for example. And then, like with that island up there, there's evidence of mining that goes back 7,000 to 8,000 BC.
Yeah.
You know, so he's kind of talking about stuff like that, and I like him because, you know, people will say, "Oh, you know, this is just conspiracy, crazy bull crap," you know, stuff like that. Well, the stuff that I kind of got attracted to way back when, I might have been called a conspiracy nut to start with, but I felt, being trained as an academic and being trained to doubt things and then be convinced of somebody's argument, you know, whether it fit the mold or not, okay, well, there might be something there. A lot of things that I first embraced and was curious about have, over the decades now, become standard, accepted, not entirely 100%, but way more accepted as, yeah, you know, it's probably true, you know, or there's clear evidence for it. So this guy, what I like is he does extraordinary research. He doesn't say just something off the top of his head. Everything is well considered. And the extraordinary thing is when the guy is recorded in his video about Rosslyn Chapel and stuff, you gotta look him up. He's a wizened older fella, kind of tall, thin, beard and everything, and I think he died within months after they finished filming the documentary. The mind, wow, was still there. And everything that he talks about, you know, you can tell it's edited. They cut a little bit here or there, but, you know, it's a consistent story that he's telling. I was thinking two things. One, it's amazing what a human being, when they commit themselves to something, how much they can achieve. At the same time, the tragic aspect of it is, it's almost just like when you get to a point where you really figured some stuff out, it's time for your body to give up and you check out. And that's the kind of tragedy of human alchemy, right? Is that just maybe when you really start to figure this stuff out, you know, you're gone. And hopefully that you found ways to leave information behind. And I do think that's a good thing about our present day, with what we have with the media and the internet and the way people can share their thoughts and their research and things like that, that it's possible that somebody can pick that stuff up and run with it. So it's not like you have to refigure out the wheel all over again. You can start somewhere, maybe go back a little bit to get your bearings and your foundation. but then move forward with stuff that has been more than sufficiently researched and documented, and move on from there. And that's how I think we can move on. That's the way we can go on. So, thank you for letting me share all that. That's just part of my passion, and I've been chatterboxy big time today. You know, right? But I'll shut up now. You can talk.
Okay. Well, all right. I may have brought some of the stuff in before. I'm not sure. But, okay. Well, this one I definitely did not bring in. But this is a Manuel de Falla CD. It's an old one. It's a recording by Spanish pianist Josep Colom, Colom. Born January 11th, 1947 in Barcelona, Spain. Apparently he's still alive.
Huh.
1947, folks.
That's not bad.
Began piano with his Aunt Rosa back in Spain.
Well, it'd be 79 this year.
Yeah.
That's not that old, is
No.
it?
79? Well, some. Okay, anyways. After that, apparently he had won quite a few piano competitions. In 1982, that year pretty much planted him in the history of the piano world, at least in Spain. He recorded the complete sonatas of Manuel Blasco de Nebra. That's in 1982. I've never heard of this composer. So how many sonatas? I'm not sure. Eventually, 1989, he would record the complete works of de Falla. He also recorded the complete works of Montpu, your guy.
Mm-hmm.
He has also recorded Brahms, Fauré, Debussy, and Ravel. Much different. I'm going to guess this seems like an earlier recording release, even earlier than Alicia de la Rocha. His playing has sort of a dignified elegance to it. Even at times, when it starts to sound more like flamenco, it has a stern, sort of defiant quality about it. Whereas if you listen to Alicia de la Rocha, boy, that's hard to say.
Yeah.
It's always full of life. It's happy. It's dancing. It's youthful. Much different from his approach. Okay, and he won an award for this one. So
You know the thing that makes me think when you're talking like that?
Yeah.
Spain has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, they go back to connect with the church. Well, who was it? The Borgias, famously.
Yeah.
The Pope, which one was he? Was he actually Alexander the Sixth or something like that? But the famous Borgia family, they were Spaniards that ran the Catholic Church, ran the world for a while. But I remember hearing stories about these very patrician kind of people in Mexico. You know, and remember the Spaniards were there from like the 1500s. Manuel de Ponce, wasn't it?
Manuel Ponce.
And various people, Herman Cortez and so on, people like that. And the United States is a new kid on the block compared to Spain and Mexico down there.
Yeah.
And I remember some stories about this very kind of noble patrician, ascetic kind of life, even with the wealthy. You know, a certain way of being that makes sense for me when I read things about. For example, we both got that book about the Falla, that wonderful book.
Yep.
That guy came from really nice background.
Yeah.
Vincent Price, you know. From a
much.
wealthy family with well-to-do stuff.
Yeah.
But still applied himself very much to his art and his work.
Yeah.
And I was
Very
thinking
strong
about
Catholic, by the way.
Montpu as well.
Very strong Catholic.
I don't think Montpu came from the same kind of financial background that DeFi did, but there is this aspect of, well, look at it, you know. I played tango music. And tango, not that stuff like you see in the Death on the Nile movie, where, you know, not that, yep, da-da, you know, not that. That's Hollywood tango. Real tango is an amazing art form. It's very disciplined. It's not so much like overtly sexual as it acknowledges the primacy of both the male and the female energy.
Yeah.
And you bring it together to make something really remarkable.
Yeah.
The man as a dancer is, gentleman almost. It's almost courtly in the way that he dresses, and where the women can wear these wonderful dresses and colorful things and stuff. The guys almost always are in night, evening wear.
Yeah. Now, might I add, historically, the tango was actually done by two guys,
Interesting.
and it was a challenge.
Interesting.
It was a challenge.
I did not know
the two
that.
the two of them would be facing each other, and they try to outdo each other.
Yeah, but it's not like a knife fight in a back alley.
Oh no, nothing like that.
It's much more courtly, like the duels that Alexander Hamilton would have had.
Yeah.
But with the woman is the man. It's almost like in ballet.
Yeah, it is.
To a certain extent, the man supports the woman in doing all the beautiful movements and supports her and moves her and stuff like that. The woman with her legs flying around and, encompassing him and things like that. It's really quite a noble thing to see. And when we went to international gatherings, I loved watching these really fine dancers do it. And so when you talk about his playing, I think that there's an aspect of Spanish, and one might say the Mexican world as well. And one probably then people down in South America say, well, it's true down here too, of this very noble, and I like this word patrician kind of way of presenting things. The emotion and the passion and everything's there, but it's kept well coiffed and within certain boundaries. I honestly feel that kind of attitude is really necessary to play Mampu's music. Mampu is not some kind of wild...
Oh, no, he's not.
Impressionistic kind of thing like that. He's a religious man. You can find that in the work. And there's structure in the stuff even when it appears like... Not Satie.
No.
But Satie-ish in terms of the way it looks on the page sometimes. But there needs to be structure there. He himself, when you listen to his own recordings of it, and what he wrote about his music. Anyway, I got to talking again.
That's all right.
Sorry, but I interrupted your
That's okay.
story there, but...
Just so you know, the front cover is not the Josep Colon. This is Defia. Okay. Colon is over here.
Oh, is a picture?
Yeah, there is a picture. I just discovered it. Apparently, he looks much younger in this picture.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
He was born in Barcelona.
Yeah.
And the other thing to remember, too, I'm really curious about this. I don't have that much information on it.
Yeah, there's not much information on this guy either.
Spanish piano traditions, which definitely go back as far as Granados, right?
Oh,
because he was the leader of the conservatory, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what may have existed before that, but I think Granados would have had a profound effect on it.
Oh, yeah.
Albéniz, he didn't actually teach, did he?
No, he didn't.
I think he had students, but he
had
didn't
some
teach
students,
in
but he
school.
didn't. Not formally. He was too busy having a good time. Now, I will say that probably Spain's main champion was probably Ricardo Viñas.
Yeah.
I
have some music that belonged to him.
What do you mean?
I have some scores from Madison, Wisconsin. Some French music. I have to dig around for it and look for it. I think it's Poulenc.
Okay.
Or Ravel.
All right.
And it's interesting because the name inside the music, Ricardo Viñas.
Are you kidding me?
We were getting rid of stuff at the library, and I found copies, and it's got his name right there. Yeah. I think it may be one of the pieces I got is Ravel's Ma Mère de l'Oie.
Yeah.
It's a four-hand or two-piano.
It's for piano four hands, originally.
The children's stories, right?
Yeah.
Mother Goose Suite.
Mother Goose Suite, yeah.
And I think that's the one. And for where you write your name like you owned it or something?
Yeah.
It's Ricardo Inez.
Oh, you're.
I got more than one piece that belongs to it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I think
You
there's
have, are there any markings in the score? I mean, in the actual like.
I don't know. I have to go
Fingering?
look at that. I also think I have.
Could you believe this guy?
There's another piece.
Yes.
I don't think it's Godowski. I think it's some kind of a Slavic piano thing. But it was his music too, from somebody like early 20th century. Yeah, there was some stuff I discovered at they were just dumping stuff out of the library.
Well, that's how I find a lot of my stuff.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, now this one I really had to dig under the barrel. Let me ask you if you know who this composer is. Sixten Eckerberg. Nope. Here it is. This is a CD recording
Swedish?
of Piano Concertos number 1 and I think it's 3. 3, yeah. Piano Concerto number 1, Opus 5. Piano Concerto number 3. He only wrote 3 piano concertos.
That's the composer.
Yes, Sixten Eckerberg. The pianist is Hans Paulsen.
Uh-huh.
He's a pianist. The orchestra, the Helsingborg Symphony Orchestra.
Uh-huh.
Jeez, holy mighty. The conductor is Jorma Panula.
Huh.
Jorma Panula?
Well, yeah, the name could either be Finnish or it's like a Laplander name,
Yeah,
but
here, you can
connected
look at
with
it.
the Swedes and Norwegians.
So, anyways, Sixten
That's
Eckerberg, born
That's
September 5th, 1909 in Sweden.
Yeah.
He died on April 9th, 1991. Educated
Oh.
in the Royal College of Music.
Oh, look there.
Yes.
Handsome boy.
Yes. His works include Anger. It was a musical he composed in 1972. He also wrote Det Stora Bankranet. Holy moly. And that was an opera he composed in 1975. There is Melody for Piano and Strings, composed in 1935. The 3 piano concertos. The first one, composed in 1941. Number 2 was composed between the years 1943 and 45. The third one, composed in 1966. He also has a cello concerto in 1974 and numerous other piano works. A very well balanced composer. I've only had a chance to listen to the first movement of the first concerto. It has sort of a quasi-type opening for the piano that's almost reminiscent of the Rachmaninoff's Third.
Yeah.
No way involved in any way as the Rock Third. He's not. It's not Rachmaninoff. It's very, it's much more. The texture is much thinner than Rachmaninoff's, and the lines are much clear and more transparent. So, but otherwise, from what I've heard so far, I really like his work. I don't know his solo piano works.
You should show that.
Okay, is that him?
That's
Sixten.
him,
Yeah, Sixten
So
Eckerberg.
it's interesting. He studied piano with Emil von Sauer.
Yeah.
Studied conducting with Felix Weingartner. Then 6 years out of school, in 1937, he became the Göteborg symphony conductor and played lots and lots and lots of concerts. He traveled Europe and played concerti. And he was like one of those active fellows that composed, conducted, and played. Very much, part of the whole Swedish, the tradition they're proud of, various people. Panola was a Finnish fellow, the conductor in this show, or in this recording. And he would talk conducting to
Did it say?
Ashkenazi.
Oh, he did? Oh my gosh, he did!
Yeah. and a bunch of other people. Panulo's like grandpa conductor
That's a Pekka Solomon.
to some of the famous ones. Yeah.
Holy crap.
What is it with these Finnish conductors, man?
I don't know.
They're all
Holy
over the world.
moly.
I saw. Haven't been receiving a lot of slip disc stuff, but I got some again recently, and Lee Brecht was writing about these certain Finnish conductors who are in charge of some big organizations around the world.
Yeah.
I suspect Solomon now is. Where did he go? Was he in New York now, or where did he?
Solomon? I don't know.
Or was it L.A.? He's at L.A., right?
Mhm.
He had been in San Francisco, and there's a big problem with his repertoire and things. And they had money problems, but now apparently he's at L.A. And then Mekala is going to be taking over Chicago. Plus, he's still doing the concert.
Yeah, I know. That's a heavy duty.
And there's a couple other ones. I don't remember all their names, but there's a fellow in charge of the Philharmonia.
Yeah.
That used to be Otto Klemperer's orchestra, right? They created it for him, I thought. And yeah, sometime we should talk about that. The phenomenon of the Finnish conductors.
Conductors, yeah.
Now, what about that other guy? He wasn't Finnish.
What?
He was Swedish, right? Segerstrom? Big guy with the beard. The huge dude with the beard. And the big belly and everything.
Is it Kurt Masur?
No, his name was Segerstrom or something.
Segerstrom?
He was a composer too, wrote hundreds of works and stuff. But there's a famous video of him doing dum bum ba dee da da ba ba.
Oh, that guy!
Yeah. This is an amazing performance too.
Yeah, it was.
It's really
he goes up there going, ah!
Yeah, he's growling at some point of the piece.
But that was part of the work. He just added that in.
Yeah.
And so people started going, ah!
Yeah. I forget his Leif Segerstrom, I think was his name.
Gosh, yeah.
He's a very interesting guy too.
Oh, yeah.
Well, since we mentioned him, I'll put his picture up on the
What a
show.
unique fellow. Yeah, you're right. He is a big
I think
guy.
he died.
No.
Relatively recently.
I didn't know that.
Come on, he was
Well, yeah, I know.
bound to explode. He was apparently a man of truly great appetites.
Okay, so folks, one more segment real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're going to go to a new another segment that we used to do quite often. You all know it. It's PSI's All Pieces Considered.
Oh.
Remember this one?
See if I can find something. From Mississippi.
Yeah, you'll like this. I don't think you've heard of this guy. I had to do quite a bit of homework on this, but it's not much.
Okay. Yeah.
Are we here? Okay, folks, here it is. I know you'll be waiting with bated breath to find out what we brought in here today. All Pieces Considered. And as usual, it's a very rare work. Anyways, here's what I brought you. Have you heard of the composer Auguste Descartes? Never heard of him? Auguste Descartes. Yes. He's Canadian. He is Canadian. He was born on November 26, 1896. Passed away on March 4th, 1958. Born and died in Montreal, folks. His full name, Joseph Ernest Auguste Descartes. He studied piano with Arthur Lentendal, Alfred Laliberté, and Jean Dansereau. He studied harmony with Rodolphe Mathieu. In 1921, he won a European prize for piano and wound up spending 9 years, nearly 10, in Paris. While there, he took classes in music interpretation with Alfred Cortot and Marcel Dupré. While still in Paris, he studied harmony and counterpoint with an Alice Pelliot. He studied piano with Leon Conus and composition with Georges Catois. Now that name, Georges Catois, I'm not sure we've ever brought him up. Even though with the French name, he's actually considered a Russian composer, strangely enough. He studied, and he took up violin as well with Jules Conis. I don't know if he's related to Leon. After leaving Europe, he wound up taking up a position at the University of Montreal, where he'd probably spend the rest of his life. And he taught music, history, and composition. What I brought for you here is a score of his toccata for solo piano. It's, well, after having looked at several scores online, this and his piano sonata are perhaps his most ambitious work. The rest of it is about early intermediate levels. They include works, let me see, I don't know, maybe you might know what some of these words means. Obad.
Obad.
Okay, do you know what that means?
I don't remember that. It's a title that's used by other French composers.
Okay.
I'll look it up.
All right. Serenitas, which I assume is serenade.
A little one.
Mauresque pour piano. I don't know what Mauresque. It's Mauresque. And sarcasm, I guess, for solo piano. And holy moly, I don't know how to. Well, here, see if you could pronounce this bottom title.
Au gré de l'onde. Yeah. I don't know exactly all what it means, but.
Au gré
de l'onde.
de l'onde.
Yeah,
Okay.
de l'onde.
Okay. Anyways, this toccata was composed in 1963.
Oh.
His piano sonata was composed in 1953, 10 years earlier. This didn't get published till, well, about 3 or 4 years after his death in 1958. So this is quite possibly will be his last published work. The sonata was composed in 1953, like I said. There's not very many recordings of his work, but he was mostly well respected up in Canada, and at least enough to have sanctioned a piano competition after his name in his honor. So let me see here. Now, as far as performances, I've looked on YouTube, and the most I've seen so far as pianists representing his work is one Isabel David, who's I think she has a university position somewhere up there, and Janelle Fung, who was at least ambitious enough to have recorded that monstrous sonata. It's at least 30 minutes long, and it's a bear of a piece. It's in G minor. Let's see. The first movement is an allegro patetico. The second movement is an elegy. It's a slow movement. It almost comes off sounding like a nocturne. It's actually in B major. The last movement is a toccata, which is also in G minor, and it's a crazy piece, that one. So he at least has 2 toccatas to his name. Now, despite all the accidentals he uses in his music like this, it's essentially, I'm going to say, post-romantic impressionistic style. It's now some of the information I received about his composing, it says he was very much into German music, and he was very much influenced. His writing, as I say, is influenced by Beethoven. Tell you the truth, I wouldn't guess that if I heard this, and if you've listened to any of his music, it doesn't. For me, it just doesn't sound that German. It actually has more in common with the sort of the champagne dry martini quality of the French style. Particularly his single works for solo piano, that's the miniatures. Now he does have a concerto type work called Canadian Rhapsody Canadien, and Isabel David actually performs it on YouTube. They also have shorter videos of just slight excerpts from the work. There's also a solo version of the work. It was done by a couple of French guys who arranged it for solo piano just for her, and she recorded that one too. So, like I said, I don't know a whole lot about this guy. Now, as far as this toccata, lots of notes. Let me show it to you. Okay. Now, if anything, I was sort of when I was playing through it, I sort of compared it to the toccata composed by Poulenc that was dedicated to Horowitz. This one seems to be a little bit more on. It has more muscularity. It seems to have more steroids to it, but also I couldn't help to feel that it almost feels like, in some passages, it almost feels like organ music. In some passages, particularly in parts where there are parallel chords. There's also parallel sixths and parallel thirds. They do everything from using parallel motion to contrary motion in some places. It's a very, very brilliant work. It has let's see here. 3, 4, 5, 6 digressions. Divided into 6 digressions. Some of them related, some of them not so related. It doesn't always reveal itself. The main theme, the first digression, doesn't come back again till measure 70. Then it makes another appearance in sort of a variation form at 152, which is then closes in the last, starting on measure 176 on down to measure 198 is the coda. And he actually thins out the texture there for some reason, but it still ends, quite brilliantly. The last three chords here it's all fortissimo. He has a run up the keyboard, a couple chords here, and then back down, and then rather exclamatory chords at the end. So it is a brilliant work. Now, as far as the work concerns, I've been watching some of the performances on YouTube of some of his work. I actually like his miniatures better. His tendency in the sonata is to strive for, it just doesn't stop. It's very dramatic. It's very French. It's almost, as far as sound goes, he's trying to strive to always be big and always dramatic. In the elegy, the second movement is the only time you ever actually get any relief. There's no turbulence or any agitation in it. You only get that mostly in the first movement of the sonata, and the sonata the first movement itself it's long. It's like 17 minutes, and then the elegy is about close to 10 minutes, and then the last movement, it's just a little over 5 minutes, but it goes quite quickly. The sonata, I don't know if I would have the patience, or I'm not sure it would be as musically satisfying working on on the work. It's a very difficult work, very demanding, lots to think about. My problem with it is pacing. Where would you? I mean, it's just. I mean, the movement just doesn't stop. It just keeps going. As far as this work, this one's more palatable. It's I would venture to say it only lasts about maybe roughly 5 minutes, and that's it. So, anyways, August de Carrier, yeah, that's who we got here. Want to look?
Well, my impressions of it is he had really good teachers.
Oh yeah.
He understands his craft. It looks pianistic in that you can play it. It's quite challenging.
Oh yeah.
Has double thirds. You move into full octaves, Brahms like octaves. There are some moments where the stretch is pretty big. I saw a C with a C sharp and the D.
Yeah.
So there's a 9, there's a minor and major ninth with the octave below. But most of the time it looks, for somebody with my hand, right,
Yeah.
is playable. I couldn't quite tell by looking at exactly what the language is, the tonal language is. It's pretty dissonant-ish, looks like it. And I saw aspects of it, ticka, 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 ticka,
Yeah.
ticka, ticka. It reminds me of a moment in the Tombeau de Couperin, the
Dakota, exactly.
Bell.
Yeah, it does do that.
Yeah, I think about German stuff. That looks very French to me.
Yeah,
That's when I see it. But tonally, I couldn't even quite hear it looking at it because
yeah,
I can't. There's some distance in there.
yeah.
but-
There's some distance, but it's not ear piercing.
No.
It actually adds to part of the character.
Yeah.
Because essentially it's really all tonal, really.
Yeah.
You know. So
I never heard of the guy.
yeah, either
You
of
say he
us.
was Canadian?
Yeah, he's born died in Montreal, basically. So yeah, so French, at least French Canadian. If you look at the YouTube videos of the performances, they're all in French. All the comments, all the commentary, it's all in French. Apparently, there were a few Americans in there that did, talk about how wonderful the performances were. Surprisingly, he's not as well known outside of Canada. But I'm curious to see what they have up there, because there's a movie that came out on YouTube on my feed, and it was a biodrama on a Canadian composer, a child prodigy, actually. I'll send you the title when I get home, because I'm sure it's still there. But it's actually a 2-hour movie, and it was about a child prodigy, and it's Canadian, and it's amazing. He's just the beginning of the movie. He's just the intro itself is amazing. It starts off with a melodic line in the piano, and you see it appear on the screen on paper, the melody line and everything, and then all of a sudden the next voices come in and they start appearing on the paper all of a sudden. It's a really neat introduction. And then all of a sudden you see, this little boy practicing at the piano. And his dad, who's I guess he's a professional piano teacher as well, sits down and starts playing a few chords, like this. And then he adds a melodic line, and he plays another chord and continues the melodic line. And then he suddenly tries to throw in a few more tricky chords, and somehow he's able to get it to do what he wants it to do. It's also a tragedy too. The composer in the movie goes through several trials of growing up. he goes into competitions, wins them. He has fights with his professors. You'll see that. But it's an interesting movie. The most interesting part of the movie was how he truly and badly wants to be a composer, right? But all of his professors keep saying, you should be a pianist. And he doesn't want to be a pianist, he wants to be a composer. And so, but I'll get you the title when I get home. But it's an excellent movie. I think you'd like it.
Okay.
It's all in French with English subtitles at the end, at the bottom. It's very good. And like I said, it has, you see some tragedies in it. So the guy, he went through some real moments.
It's supposed to be a biographical.
It's biographical. He's a real guy. At the end, in one of the comments, I noticed that he said that this guy was famous for movie scores, and so one of the movies that he does is actually on YouTube. And so at the very beginning, it opens with this piano concerto-like theme, and it's him on the piano. So you get an idea of what he's actually plays like. So, but anyways, this is what we have for you today, folks. I hope you enjoyed our program. There was lots of conversation here. You got to see a bunch of you got introduced to alchemy, or how we would just say it, something like that. So, anyways, if you enjoyed our program, please comment, like, and subscribe. Otherwise, we look forward to you in our next episode. Please come back and see what else we've been listening to, what we've been reading, and what we've been practicing. Meanwhile,
I'm Dr. Mark.
I'm Elmer, and we are
Mark and Elmer's PSI Piano Scene Investigations.
See
you guys.
Oh my gosh. Did you hear that? I thought I heard something that sounds like... Oh, there it is. Oh, gosh, that was quick. I wonder if that was a spaceship.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it was sort of disc shaped.
You think so?
You think Grobu just wanted to see what we were doing?
Might have flown by. I don't know.
Oh well.